Tenant Below. You have lived in this apartment for 3 years. You know the building well, the way the elevator hesitates just before the 4th floor, the smell of old carpet and radiator heat in the hallway, the particular creak of the 3rd stair from the landing, a sound so familiar it has become a kind of comfort, a signature of home. You are on the 2nd floor, Unit 2B. Below you is the lobby. There has never been anything else below you. It starts with a sound, not loud, nothing alarming, just something in the early hours of a Wednesday, when the building is still and the city outside has slowed to its nighttime frequency. A footstep. From below, you register it the way you register most things at 2 a.m. Half asleep, not quite processing. You roll over, you pull the covers up, you tell yourself it was the building settling. Old buildings settle. You know this. Everyone knows this. But buildings do not settle in a single deliberate step. And then another. You lie still for a long time. The sounds don't continue. Whatever it was, whatever your exhausted mind assembled from the noise of pipes and concrete and age, it is quiet now. The building breathes around you. The radiator ticks softly in the corner. Outside, a car passes on the wet street. You fall asleep. In the morning, you make coffee. You stand at the window and watch people walk by on the sidewalk below, and you feel fine, completely fine. The ordinary world has reasserted itself, and the particular texture of 2 a.m. fear, that thin, cold quality, has dissolved in the light. You do not think about the footstep. But then, 2 nights later, and you are not imagining this, it happens again. A sound from directly below your bedroom floor. Not the lobby, not pipes. Something with weight. Something that moves slowly, deliberately, and then stops. This time you are more awake. You sit up. You hold your breath. Silence. And then a door. A soft, close sound. A door pulling shut. The sound of a latch catching. Below you, in a space that does not exist. Your building has no basement. You have seen the utility closet in the lobby. You have walked past the mailboxes and the superintendent's unit on the ground floor 1,000 times. There is nothing below the lobby. You are certain of this, and yet you tell yourself you will look into it, in the way that you tell yourself you will look into things. The strange charge on your credit card, the noise the car makes when you turn left, the odd look someone gave you at the grocery store, in the way that means you will think about it for 2 days, and then let the ordinary momentum of your life carry it away. But this one does not dissolve, because 3 nights after the door, you hear it again, and this time it is not just a footstep, not just a creak. This time, in the deep quiet of 3 a.m., you hear something that you cannot explain away, cannot file under settling, or pipes or wind. You hear a chair being pulled across a floor, slow, deliberate, directly below your bed. You go to the superintendent the next morning. His name is Mr. Harrow. He has worked in this building for 22 years. He is a broad, unhurried man who smells faintly of motor oil and always seems mildly surprised to see you, as if you're someone he half remembers from a dream. You tell him you've been hearing sounds below your apartment, below the lobby level. He looks at you for a moment longer than feels natural. Then he says, very evenly, "There's nothing below your unit." And you nod. You say you know that. And you ask if maybe there's an access tunnel, a utility crawl space, something might not know about. He says, "There's nothing below your unit." The same words, the same even tone, as if he has said them before. That afternoon, you look at the building's floor plan. You find it in the city's public property records, a digitized architectural survey from 1987, the year the building was last significantly renovated. You zoom in on the cross-section view: second floor, first floor, lobby, foundation, and then something that makes your hand stop. Between the lobby level and the foundation line, there is a layer, just a thin margin in the architectural drawing. No label, no dimensions, no door marked, just a gap in the cross-section that could be a drafting error, or an artifact of the scan, or a space, small, maybe 8 feet of clearance, just enough for a room, just enough for a chair. You do not go back to Mr. Harrow. You do not knock on your downstairs neighbor's door, because you do not have a downstairs neighbor. You have a lobby, you have a stairwell, you have a solid concrete foundation. Instead, you lie in your bed that night and listen. It is very quiet for a long time. Then softly from below, a sound, the kind of sound that is harder to explain than footsteps, harder to rationalize than a chair moving across a floor, a sound that your mind goes very still, trying to process. Someone is humming a slow, soft melody, something old, something that has the shape of a lullaby, though you cannot identify it. It rises and falls beneath you, right there, directly below, as if whoever is making it has no awareness that they can be heard, or no concern, as if they have always been there, waiting in their quiet room below your floor, for you to finally start listening. You do not call anyone. Who would you call? What would you say? There are sounds below my apartment, in a space that the 1987 floor plan may or may not suggest exists. And last night someone was humming a song I don't recognize. You can hear how it sounds. You can feel the shape of how the conversation would go. So instead, you sit with it. You sit with the knowledge of it, that something lives below you, that it has been living below you, perhaps for a long time, that Mr. Harrow knows, and says the same words in the same even tone because those are the words that have always ended the conversation. You sit with the fact that the humming, when it came, did not frighten you as much as it should have, that it sounded, in its low and shapeless way, almost like company. Weeks pass. The sounds come 3, 4 times a week now, always late, always below you. Footsteps, the chair, occasionally a low sound you can't categorize, not quite a voice, not quite anything else. You have stopped looking up the floor plan. You have stopped rehearsing the conversation you might have with Mr. Harrow. You have, in some quiet way that you don't fully examine, accepted the sounds the way you have accepted all the other textures of this building, the creak of the stair, the shudder of the elevator, the smell of old heat in the hall. You have accepted that you share this building with something, that the building is, in some way you cannot articulate, complete in a manner you never knew. There is one night, near the end of October, when the sounds are different. You are lying very still, the way you have learned to lie when the humming starts, when you realize that the melody has changed. It is not the shapeless lullaby, it is something else, something that takes you a long moment to place. It is a song you know, a song from your childhood, one your mother used to hum while she worked in the kitchen on Sunday mornings, a soft, unremarkable melody, the kind of thing you haven't thought about in years. above the space that isn't supposed to exist, and you listen to something hum a song that belongs to you, that no one down there could know. You do not sleep that night. In the morning, there is something at your door, not a knock. When you open it, still in your sleeping clothes, still carrying the weight of a sleepless night, there is nothing there except the hallway, the faint hum of the building, the familiar smell of old carpet. But on the floor, just in front of your threshold, is a piece of paper, small, folded once. You stand in your doorway for a long time before you pick it up. Inside, in handwriting that is neat and old-fashioned and completely unfamiliar, are 4 words. We can hear you too. You hold the note for a long time. The paper is thin, almost soft with age, and the fold has the worn quality of something that has been made and remade many times. A crease so practiced it falls open on its own. The handwriting is dark ink, slightly faded, as if written with deliberate care in poor light. 4 words, and no other mark, no signature, no number, nothing below the sentence but white space. We can hear you too. You bring it inside. You set it on the kitchen table and stand over it with your coffee going cold in your hand. The morning light is thin and grey, coming in at a low angle through the window, and the city outside is doing what the city always does, moving, indifferent, loud in its ordinary way. But your apartment feels sealed from all of that, a pocket of held breath. You read the note again, as if the words might rearrange themselves into something easier to hold. You think about what they can hear. You think about your footsteps crossing the bedroom floor at 2 a.m., the drag of your own chair when you sit at the kitchen table to eat dinner alone, the particular sound of you crying once, very quietly, in November of last year, when the grief of something you don't like to name came up unexpected. You think about all the small and private sounds a person makes when they believe no one is below them, when they believe they are the bottom of their own world. The radiator ticks once, the building breathes. You do not know what you expected. Perhaps that was the end of it. The note, the acknowledgement, a door of sorts, a way of saying, we are here, and now you know, and now the balance of things can settle. But that evening, when you lie down in the early dark of a shortened autumn day, the sounds below are different again. Not the chair, not footsteps, something softer, a movement you can only describe as awful, the sound of someone making an effort not to disturb. It occurs to you, in a slow and reluctant way, that the sounds have always had that quality, that nothing below you has ever been careless. You write a note back. You are not sure why. You sit at the kitchen table with a pen and a small piece of paper torn from the back page of a notebook, and you sit there for a very long time before you write anything at all. What you finally put down is not a question about who they are, or how long they have been there, or what they want. You find that none of those feel like the right thing to say. What you write instead is smaller than that, more honest. 3 words, in your own ordinary handwriting, slightly uneven at the end, the way your writing always gets when your hand is not quite steady. I hear you. You fold the paper once. You open your front door in the quiet of the hallway, the smell of old carpet, the distant hum of the elevator settling somewhere above, and you set the note on the floor, just at the edge of your threshold, not quite inside, not quite stand there for a moment with your hand on the door frame and the cool air of the hallway against your skin, and you listen. The building is still, below the lobby, below the layer of the floor plan that has no label and no dimensions. Everything is quiet. You go back inside. You close the door softly. In the morning, the note is gone. That night, the humming returns. The same slow melody, the one that holds the shape of your childhood in a way you cannot explain. But it is quieter now, or perhaps you have simply stopped bracing against it. It rises from the floor beneath your bed, the way warmth rises, unhurried, without intention to alarm. You lie in the dark, and you breathe, and you let the sound of it fill the room, and you think about how a building is more than its walls, how a home is more than the space you can see, how the people who have loved a place leave something behind in it, down in the deep levels, in the rooms that do not appear on any map. Thank you for listening in the dark with me tonight. If that story settled somewhere in your chest, that particular quiet dread, you're not alone. It lives in all of us, I think. The sense that the spaces beneath our ordinary lives are not as empty as we've been told. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. A new whispered story waits for you every week, right here. Now close your eyes. Your floor is solid beneath you, and whatever is below, it is only listening. Sleep